Hi everyone, this is Dr. Pritam Hait, the Assistant Professor of Vigyan Institute of Information Technology. Today I will solve the numerical problem of 2-hinge arch and 3-hinge arch. Okay, so let's start. Here a problem is given here. A 3-hinge arch is subjected to uniformly distributed load W per unit run throughout its span. And it is a 3-hinge semicircular arch, and the radius of the arch is r. So total span will be r plus r 2r, right? So we have to find out the horizontal thrust at each support, means here and here, what will be the horizontal thrust, and the location and the magnitude of the maximum bending moment for the arch. Okay, so first we will calculate what is the reaction, vertical reaction. You see here W per unit run is the intensity of loading or intensity of load. So for 2r length, what will be the total load? W into 2r. So each reaction will be W into r, W into 2r, so 2wr by 2, that will be wr. So each reaction will be wr. Okay, now we will take the moment about C point. C is the hinge, so at C point the bending moment will be 0. So taking moment about C of the left hand side forces of C, we have wr into r minus h into r, this distance is r, minus w into r by 2 will be 0, or otherwise you can write w into r equals to h into r plus w into r by 2, right? CG is acting at r by 2 distance, so w r square by 2. So horizontal thrust you calculate wr by 2, right? The bending moment at any section x, we can write, if you consider a bending moment at any section, so what we will have, wr is acting upward direction, so wr into r, h is acting in this direction, so wr is trying to rotate this portion of the arch clockwise direction, but h is trying to rotate this portion of the arch in anti-clockwise direction, and udl also in anti-clockwise direction. So wr into x at any distance x minus h into this distance is y, this distance is y, this is x, this is y. Okay, so h into y minus this intensity, the load intensity is w and it is working on x length, and the CG will be x by 2 distance, so w into x by 2, so w x square by 2. So we have the bending moment at any section, wr into x minus wx square by 2 minus hy. Okay, so we have the bending moment mx equals to wr into x at any section x. I am taking the bending moment, so wr into x minus h into y, because h is trying to rotate this arch in anti-clockwise direction, so minus h into y minus w into x by 2. So we have mx equals to wrx minus wx square by 2 minus hy. Now I will put the value of all the parameters. Say x, what is x? See here, this distance is x, this is the x distance from support to x cross section, right? So what will be the this distance? See here, from A to O is r. Okay, again as this is a semicircular arch, so OX also will be r. At any distance, this distance will be r, this distance will be r, this distance will be r, any distance, everything is r. So and if I assume that this is angle theta with the horizontal plane, so what will be the cos component and what will be the sine component? Always I told you that the base component will be sine component, the plane will be base on which the theta is inclined. So in this plane the theta is inclined, So this will be base and this will be height. Okay, so in this triangle, if you see OAX, in this triangle this is R, so the base component will be R cos theta. This is R cos theta and this is R sin theta. Okay, now this point to this point the distance is R and this distance is R cos theta. What will be this distance? R minus R cos theta. So I wrote here x equals to R minus R cos theta and y equals to R sin theta. So I will put here the value x equals to R minus R cos theta and x equals to R minus R cos theta. If you see here, we can write it R into 1 minus cos theta. Okay, so here it is x square, so I can write it W into R, W by 2, this is W by 2, so I keep this 2 here, so I can write W into R into 1 minus cos theta, R into 1 minus cos theta divided by this 2 minus H. What is H value? WR by 2, so I put it here WR by 2 and Y is how much? R sin theta, so WR by 2 into R sin theta. So we have WR into R minus, so we have WR square into 1 minus cos theta minus WR square by 2, 1 minus cos square, 1 minus cos whole square into WR square by 2 sin theta. Okay, so if you calculate in this way, you will get ultimately maximum mx, the bending moment at cross section x will be WR square by 2 into sin theta minus sin square theta. Now in this equation, if you see, this is minus, this is minus. So in this equation, if you see this sin theta, if this sin theta is greater than sin square theta, then what we will have? This is greater than this, so this term will be positive and the entire term will be negative due to this sign. So we will have hogging moment. Okay, if the sin theta is greater than sin theta, this moment will be negative, that means hogging moment will occur at a section of the arch, right? So now we will calculate the maximum bending moment. We know the maximum bending moment will occur if you put the del m del theta will be 0. So we will derivative the bending moment expression, the bending moment function with respect to theta. We will get minus WR square by 2 cos theta minus 2 sin theta cos theta equals to 0. Okay, this is the del m del theta value and we will put this equals to 0 to get the maximum bending moment. So we have either this equals to 0 or this equals to 0. Okay, but we know this cannot be 0. Okay, this term cannot be 0. Okay, so this will be 0, this term will be 0. So we have cos theta minus 2 sin theta cos theta equals to 0. So we have W r square by 8, where it will occur at theta equals to 30 degree. So we have to find out this distance from crown. What is the distance of maximum bending moment? So you just calculate the distance of point of maximum bending moment from crown. We have, this is r cos theta, so we will calculate the r cos theta value. So r into cos 30, so we get r root 3 by 2. So this distance is r root 3 by 2. So r root 3 by 2 distance from crown, the maximum bending moment will occur. The value of maximum bending moment is minus W r square by 8, right? So let's solve the second problem. We have a 3-hinge arch ABC consisting of quadrantal parts AC and BC. Here we have 3-hinge arch. It has two quadrantal part AC and BC, okay? And the radius of these two curvature is different. The radius of this AC curvature is 4 meter and this BC curvature is 6 meter. So this is a 3-hinge arch is given you, but the radius of curvature of AC is 4 meter and BC is 6 meter. That means O2B is 6 meter, O2F is 6 meter, O2C is 6 meter, like that, okay? So AC and BC of ready 4 meter and 6 meter respectively carries 2-point load of 100 kilonewton at 100 kilonewton each of the 100 kilonewton at 2 point at C point and 100 kilonewton apart from 3 meter apart from C point. So two load is working here. 100 kilonewton is working at C point, another 100 kilonewton is working at a 3 meter apart from C point on the right side, right? So find out the reaction at supports A and B. We have to calculate the reaction at A, that means VA and VB, and then we have to calculate the bending moment at E and F. That means at E point we have to calculate the bending moment, at F point we have to calculate the bending moment. Let's get started. Let VA and VB be the vertical reaction at A and B support, and H be the horizontal reaction at both the support, okay? So taking moment about C of the forces on the left hand side, what we will have, VA into 4 equals to H into this also 4, this is also 4. So VA into 4 equals to H into 4. So we have this 4 will be cancelled. So we have H equals to VA or VA equals to H, okay? This is equation 1, right? Now we will take the bending moment about C of the forces of right hand side of C. We have VB into this distance, that is 6. So VB into 6 equals to H into 6 plus 100 into 3, okay? So H into 6 plus 100 into 3. So we have VB equals to H plus 50. This is equation 2, okay? So we have equation 1 and equation 2, and from equilibrium, that is summation V equals to 0, we have 100 plus 100, that is 200 equals to VA plus VB. That means VA plus VB equals to 200. This is equation number 3, okay? So in this equation number 3 we will put the VA value and VB value. So we have VA equals to H, this VA equals to H, and this VB equals to H plus 50 equals to 200. So 2H plus 50 equals to 200. So H equal to 2H equals to 150. So H equals to 75. So H equals to 75 means VA equals to also 75. So VB equals to how much? VB equals to 200 minus 75. So we have 200 minus 75, that means 125. Else you can calculate the VB from this equation 2. We have H equals to 75 plus 50, we have 125. So in this way you can calculate the VA and VB and H at the supports. Here we have to calculate the bending moment at point E and at point F, okay? So let's calculate the bending moment. while you are calculating the bending moment at point E, what you have to do, you have to take the bending moment at cross section X, that means VA into this distance minus H, this is H, into this distance. Okay, so you have to calculate this distance, right, because this E point is not at support, it is little bit far from the support A, so you have to calculate the what is this distance from this point to this point, what is this distance you have to calculate. Okay, now let's calculate this distance. Similarly, we will calculate the distance between F and B. Okay, we have to calculate this small distance, then we will be able to calculate the bending moment at point. Okay, so here you know, consider this triangle, you consider this triangle, this and this triangle. In this triangle, you know, this is 2 meter is given in the question, and this is EO1 is 4 meter given in the figure. So from this triangle we can write this is height and this is hypotenuse. So height by hypotenuse equals to sin theta. So sin theta equals to, we can write height, this is 2, and hypotenuse this is 4, so 2 by 4. So sin theta equals to, we can write 2 by 4, so theta equals to 30 degree. So theta equals to, you have found out theta equals to 30 degree. Okay, so what will be this distance? This distance will be equals to this distance minus distance. What is this distance? This is 4, so this will be 4 cos 30, because this is base component, so base component will be cos component. If this is 4, so this will be 4 cos 30, and this will be 4 minus 4 cos 30. So this distance will be, this is 4 cos 30, and this will be 4 minus 4 cos 30, right. Similarly here also you can calculate the theta. In this triangle, if you consider this triangle, in this triangle this is base and this is altitude and this is hypotenuse. So altitude by hypotenuse will be sin theta. So I can write, this is theta, so I can write sin theta equals to height by hypotenuse equals to sin theta. So 3 by 6, that is half. So sin theta equals to half equals to 30 degree. Okay, so in both the case we have found out theta equals to 30 degree. So what will be this distance? This small distance will be how much? The total distance is 6, and this distance is cos component of this. So the cos component will be 6 cos theta, and what will be this distance? Total distance is 6 minus 6 cos theta. So I can write 6 minus 6 cos theta. So this small distance will be 6 minus 6 cos theta, and this small distance will be 4 minus 4 cos theta. So we can write this small distance here equals to 6 into 1 minus cos theta, this distance. Okay, and here we can write also 4 into 1 minus cos theta, right. Now taking moment about E, we have VB into 4 into 1 minus cos theta minus, this is trying to rotate this arch in anti-clockwise, in clockwise direction, and this H is trying to rotate this portion of the arch in anti-clockwise direction. So this will be minus, so minus H into this distance is 2, lever arm is 2, so 70, H is 75, we have calculated H is 75, so 75 into 2 we have to write. So we have the bending moment at E point minus 109.81 kilonewton. Similarly, if you take the bending moment at F point, you have VB into this small distance, that is 6 into 1 minus cos theta, minus H into 3, this distance is 3. So we have, what is the VB value? 125, and what is this distance? 6 into 1 minus cos theta, else 6 minus 6 cos theta. So I wrote here 6 minus 6 cos 30, theta is 30 degree. So 6 minus 6 cos 30 minus H into 3. So minus H into 3. So we have bending moment at F point minus 124.52 kilonewton meter. Okay. So in this way we can calculate the support reactions horizontal reaction at both the ends, support reactions at both the end, and bending moment at given points. So here we have temperature stress on 3-hinge arch. We will solve the numerical problem and we will find out what will be the change in rise due to the rise of temperature, right? So let's start the first numerical problem. A 3-hinge arch of span 30 meter and rise 6 meter is subjected to a rise of 40 degrees centigrade. That means a span is given and 3-hinge arch is given with span 30 meter and rise is 6 meter. This is 6 meter and this is 30 meter. 40 degrees centigrade is the temperature rise. Okay, we have to determine the change in rise of the arch. This is the rise of the arch. What will be the increased rise of the arch due to change in temperature, right? So alpha equals to the coefficient of temperature So here is the second problem is given. A 3-hinge arch of span, this is second problem. A 3-hinge arch of span 20 meter and rise 8 meter carries a uniformly distributed load of 20 kilonewton per meter. Okay, find out the horizontal thrust for the arch. We have to find out the horizontal thrust, that is H. Okay, if now the arch is subjected to a rise in temperature of 40 degrees centigrade, find out the change in horizontal thrust. Okay, alpha is given here 12 into 10 to the power minus 6 per degree centigrade. Coefficient of temperature of the particular material of which the arch is constructed. The horizontal thrust we know H equals to W L square by 8H. So we will put the value. W is given here 25. So we will put 25. L is 20. So 20 square and 8 into H. H is given here 4 meter. So we will put and we have found out horizontal thrust H equals to 312.5 kilonewton. Now we will find out the increase in rise of the arch due to temperature rise. Okay, delta equals to L square plus 4H square by 8H into alpha T. So we will put all the values given in the question. L is 20, H is to 4. So alpha is 12 into 10 to the power minus 6 and T is 40. So we have delta equals to 0.01392 meter, right? Now decrease in horizontal thrust due to increase in the rise of the arch. That means once the rise of the arch increases, the horizontal thrust decreases. Okay, if you see here, the horizontal thrust is H. Suppose this is 5 and this is also 3. Okay, 3 meter and this is 5 kilonewton. Okay, so if I decrease the rise of the arch, say this is 2 meter, the horizontal thrust will increase, say this is 8 meter. Okay, so if the horizontal thrust 5 and rise of the arch is 3 meter, and if the rise of the arch decreases, the horizontal thrust will increase. If the rise of the arch increases, suppose this is 10 meter, then the horizontal thrust will decrease, say this is 5 kilonewton. Okay, so in this way the horizontal thrust and the rise of the arch is inversely proportional. Okay, if it is decrease, it will increase. Okay, that means decrease in the horizontal thrust due to increase in the rise of the arch. We know dh by h equals to dh by h. Here d capital H by capital H equals to d small h by small h. So we have dh equals to d small h by small h into capital H. So this dh we have to calculate. Okay, so what we have, dh by h into h. So dh is how much? We have calculated dh, that means rise of the arch. This rise of the arch we have calculated 0.01392. So we have put here the dh value, and capital H is how much? 312.5. So I put it 315, and small h is given here 4 meter. So you put 4 meter. So you have calculated what is the decrease in horizontal thrust due to increase of rise of the arch. If small h increase, the capital H will decrease. If the small h decrease, the capital H will increase. Okay, so this is the decrease in horizontal thrust due to increase in the rise of the arch. Fine. So let's start the numerical problem on normal thrust and radial shear. Right, I have discussed the background theory of normal thrust and radial shear of the arch. Now I will start the numerical problem. Okay, so the question is, 3-hinged parabolic arch has span L equals to 20 meter and rise 5 meter. Okay, so the rise is 5 meter, this is 5 meter, and the span is 20 meter. Okay, it carries a uniformly distributed load 20 kilonewton over the left half of the span. Okay, and a point load of 120 kilonewton at 5 meter from the right end. Okay, so the UDL is working left half of the span, that is 20 kilonewton per meter, and point load is working 5 meter from the crown, also 5 meter apart from the B support, that is 120 kilonewton. Okay, find out the bending moment, horizontal thrust and radial shear at section 4 meter from the left end. Okay, so this is left end, from 4 meter apart from the left end at D point, what is the bending moment, normal thrust and radial shear we have to calculate. So let's start. First you draw the diagram as per the data given in the question, then you start the solution. Okay, taking moment about A, this is A support, we will take the bending moment about this. We have VB into 20 equals to 120 into 15 plus this is 20 into 10 into 5. Okay, because CG will be acting at 5 meter distance from A. So 20 is the intensity of load, L is the length on which length the UDL is subjected to, on which length the UDL is working. Okay, 20 is the loading intensity, and L on which the UDL is working, that is 10 meter, and the CG of the UDL will be acting at 5 meter apart from the A. So 20 into 10 into 5 plus 120 is acting at 15 meter distance, so 15. So we have VB equals to 140 kilonewton. Now let's find out the VA. What is total load? 20 into 10. So I can calculate 20 into 10 plus 120 is the total load, minus VB. So minus 140 equals to 180. So VA equals to 180 kilonewton and VB equals to 140 kilonewton. Right. Now I will take the bending moment about C. We have taking moment about C of the left hand side forces of C, we have VB into 10, 180 into 10 equals to H into 5 and 20 into 10 into 5, 20 into 10 into 5. So we have horizontal thrust H equals to 160 kilonewton. Okay, now I will find out what is the ordinate at section D, because I have to calculate the bending moment, normal thrust and radial shear at point D. So I have to calculate what is the ordinate, that is what is this distance YD, how much at any point, at any cross section, the vertical ordinate will be YD equals to 4h by L square x into L minus x. This expression we have derived in the theory class, so we will use this formula to find out the vertical coordinate at D point. So YD equals to 4h by L square x into L minus x. So h is 5, L is 20 and x is 4 meter. At 4 meter far, from 4 meter or at a 4 meter distance, what will be the vertical ordinate? That is, this is 4, h is 5, L is 20 and x is 4. So again L minus x, that is 20 minus 4. So you have calculated YD equals to 3.2 meter. So this is 3.2 meter. Okay. Now we will calculate the bending moment at point D. We have calculated the y ordinate at point D, that is 3.2 meter. So let's calculate the bending moment. Taking moment about D, we have VA into this 4 meter distance. So I have written here 180, VA is 180, so 180 into 4 minus this load is trying to rotate this arch in anti-clockwise direction, so minus 20 in this the load intensity, length is the 4 meter and CG will be 2 meter, so 20 into 4 into 4 by 2, that is 2, and H is acting in this direction, anti-clockwise moment, so minus 160 into this is 3.2 meter. Lever arm is 3.2 meter or ordinate is 3.2 meter. So H, that is 160 into 3.2. So we have bending moment 48 kilonewton. This is positive. Okay. So consider the equilibrium condition of AD of the arch. This arch will be always in equilibrium condition. Okay. At any point summation of V will be 0, at any point summation of H will be 0. Okay. So if I cut this portion, that is AD portion, I have drawn it here. This is A support, this is D joint, D point. Only this portion I have enlarged here and I am showing what is the forces is acting in both horizontal and vertical direction, right? So what is the UDL? UDL is here 20 kilonewton per meter. This is 4 meter distance. And what is the YD? That is vertical ordinate is 3.2 meter. Here the horizontal force is acting 160 kilonewton, vertical force is acting 180 kilonewton. So if at this part horizontal force 160 kilonewton is acting, so here also to be in equilibrium condition, the horizontal force has to be 160 kilonewton, right? To be in equilibrium condition horizontally, the HD must be 160 kilonewton, right? So that the arch portion will be in horizontal equilibrium condition. Now we will think vertically equilibrium condition. To be in vertical equilibrium condition, the vertical upward force is acting 180 kilonewton, downward force is acting 20 into 4 kilonewton. This is 20 and length is 4, so 20 into 4 kilonewton is acting downward. So what is the net force vertically will be acting at point D will be 1, this is 180. So the net force will be 180 minus 20 into 4 will be 100 and this force will be downward. So VD will be 100 kilonewton. So if the VD will be 100 kilonewton, then only this portion of the arch will be vertically equilibrium condition. So I have calculated HD 160 kilonewton, VD 100 kilonewton. So these forces are acting at joint at point D. Okay. Now I will draw a tangent at point D to know at point D the tangent is inclined with horizontal plane at theta. What is the value of theta? I have to calculate. So I will draw a tangent at point D because I have to calculate the bending moment, normal thrust, radial shear at point D. So I have to know what is the inclination of the tangent at point D. So I have drawn a tangent at point D which is inclined theta with horizontal plane. So we have tangent at point D. Now at any point, what is the vertical ordinate? We know y equals to 4h by L square x into L minus x, and also we know tan theta equals to dy dx. So we know, again I am repeating, y equals to 4h by L square x into L minus x is the ordinate at any point. Again we know tan theta equals to dy dx. So if we do the derivative, this function with respect to x, we have this 4h by L square will come out, and this function we have to derivative. So this is nothing but Lx minus x square. Okay, so the derivative of this function will be L minus 2x. Okay, the derivative of this function will be L minus 2x. So if you do the derivative of this function, you have dy dx of L into x minus x square. So the derivative of Lx is L and the derivative of x square is 2x. So you have 4h by L square L minus 2x. Now you put the value of x, that is 4 meter. You have, say, h equals to 5. So put it here 5, L is 20. So you put the value of L 20 here and here also, and x is also 4 meter. So 2 into 4, that is 8. So you have tan theta equals to 3 by 5. Now come to this triangle. Tan theta equals to 3 by 5 means height by base equals to 3 by 5. That means height is 3 and base is 5. Under root 3 square plus 5 square. So you have the altitude, base and hypotenuse. So you can easily calculate sin theta and cos theta, because sin theta equals to altitude by hypotenuse, that is 3 by under root 3 square plus 5 square, and cos theta equals to base by hypotenuse, that is 5 by under root 3 square plus 5 square, right? So I have calculated the bending moment at point D, that was md equals to 48 kilonewton meter. Now I will calculate the normal thrust and radial shear at point D. So what is the formula of normal thrust? That is Pn equals to hd cos theta plus vd sin theta. So hd is how much? 160, and cos theta is how much? 5 by under root 3 square plus 5 square. So 3 square plus 5 square means 34. So hd is 160, cos theta is 5 by root 34, and vd is 100. I have calculated vd at D point. The vertical shear vd equals to 100 kilonewton. So 100 into sin theta. Sin theta is how much? 3 by root 34. This is 3 by root 34, and this is 5 by